Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Akron Zips Dynasty mode here in CFB 26. So in last episode, if you did not catch it, we had a tough time as we finished up the season, and our team finished 4-8, which is probably one of our worst seasons in quite a while. Also, we did end up losing a lot of people due to obviously transfer, but also some people graduated, which were some pretty big losses. So I'm not too sure what to expect from this upcoming season from this team, but I definitely think this team is kind of teetering between still good and obviously falling off a lot. So I'm hoping that obviously we could get some good offseason recruits to basically help with the blow that we lost a bunch of good players like Robert Thomas, for instance. We lost Griffin. We lost actually pretty much a good amount of wide receivers. So I'm not too really sure what to expect in terms of what our players are that we're going to be bringing in, but I'm hoping that we still have a good season ahead, obviously. If we go to just like view roster on paper right now, you can see if we sort by overall rating right now, you can see our best players are technically like Holmberg and Jameson, who is apparent. I think Jameson graduated though, didn't he, or something? Yeah, I think he graduated, so I don't know why it's still showing him. If these guys are back for another year, we might be actually able to run it back again. But guys like Robert Thomas apparently also was supposed to leave, so I don't know why it's still showing them there. But like I said, if they do come back for another year, that would actually be very, very helpful, just because obviously this team will definitely take a massive hit losing some players like that. But if they do come back for some reason, like if I'm just incorrect in terms of what I'm reading them as, our team could be still pretty good next season. So yeah, hoping that we could get some good recruits, fill out the roster a little bit more, and then hopefully next season we have a decent start to the year and we don't fall apart early on. Because last year I think we were like 3-1 to start the season, and then we ended up falling off quite a bit and eventually going below 500, and then our team could not win really again. So yeah, just don't want to get onto those losing streaks like we did last season. But with that said, let's get in you guys' comments, see what you guys have to say about last episode, and then we'll get into some off-season recruiting and see who ends up joining this team for the upcoming year. So the first and only comment is from Pistol_P2, who says, Akron needs a championship, keep going. And I appreciate the motivation a bit, because the series has kind of definitely dipped down. It's definitely my lowest viewed series out of every series I'm currently doing. So it's kind of tough for me to actually want to continue doing this. But at the same time, I do want to see this team win a championship. And then maybe we could probably end it at that point. But it's been a tough time this last season or so. Because last year, or 2 years ago, technically, I guess at this point now, since the season's done, we went all the way to the championship and lost that game. If we didn't lose that game, I could have been like pretty happy with where we're at. But eventually we lost that game. And then this upcoming season, or this last season, I should say, we went 4-8. So it's kind of like a massive turnaround for our team. Our team went from being one of the best to one of the worst. And now we have to try and somehow put this roster back together again so it's actually good for the upcoming year. So it's going to be a tough time, but I mean, I guess I'm open to the challenge. But hopefully we don't lose any more crazy players relatively soon. And like I said, hopefully we fill out a roster decently nice with this off-season recruiting that we're going to be doing. So with that said, let's get into it and see who we end up snagging up. We do have a lot of guys currently on our recruiting list. Some people we don't actually meet their deal breakers, so I don't know if we're going to be able to still get them or not, because it's like coach prestige and all that type of thing. So there's a good chance that maybe a lot of these guys won't want to come here, but obviously we're going to still probably be putting hours into them, I think, if I can. Maybe I can't put hours into them. No, I can't put any more hours into them because of that deal breaker thing, but maybe if some other guys start accepting, maybe that will help get the coach prestige up there. I don't really know, because our coach prestige needs to be at least like one more point better, which isn't a huge thing to change, but it's a big deal breaker to like 5 of these guys, which is kind of insane. So hopefully we could knock out a lot of guys, at least, and join them on our team for the upcoming year. Anyways, we have 450 hours, so we might as well spend like 25 hours on each person here or something like that, just to help get confirmation and get them to join our team, because I just want to make sure we actually have a good roster going into next season. Like I said, there is still a lot of good players that are going to be still sticking around, of course. But losing guys like Robert Thomas, losing Griffin, like I think that's going to hurt us quite a bit in the offensive department. So I want to make sure that we put a good amount of hours into as much of these recruits as possible. So that way we actually might have a good chance of still building up a good roster for the season. So let's just do 25 on all these dudes that we can. And maybe we'll put some more into a couple other ones as well while we're at it. So we'll do that. We have 100 hours left still technically after putting 25 on all those guys. So 100 hours. Who's technically the prospects that we prioritize the most? If we go to this list, oh man, we still need a shit ton of things as well. I mean, I could too maybe look into 4 more recruits. That might not be a bad option. So if we go to like quarterback, since we're 0 for 3 on quarterbacks, let's go to 3-star prospects. Do they all have us locked up? No, this guy doesn't. Cam Thomas. He has us on 3rd right now. Is there anybody that has us maybe higher than that? There's a couple days that have a 2nd. There's Ball. There is Sosa. Let's go for Ball, I guess, for quarterback. Anything else that has us low? Centers, we need 1. So we might as well go there. And we'll go with Sateki Guy. What kind of first name is that? It's an interesting one. We'll go to halfback as well, since halfback's 1 of 5. You go for another halfback here, like Isaacs. And we need 1 more, and then we'll put 25 hours on all those guys. What other areas drastically needed? Edge rushers, I guess. So we'll go to the edge. And we'll go to Frankie G as an option. And then, yeah, we'll just do 25 hours apiece on all these guys. We won't offer them scholarships yet, but we'll obviously be doing that soon probably. But I want to put as much hours into these guys as possible, so that way we maybe get a good amount of interest off the hop on some of the dudes that we haven't done yet. So 25 hours on everybody, except for the guys that have bad deal breakers. If the deal breaker changes and then we could actually get these guys, we'll obviously continue to pursue them. But if not, all these guys might have to be removed from our recruiting list. So let's hope we get some good news with some of these guys accepting relatively soon. All right, so with that said, let's advance through the first week of the off-season recruiting stage. I don't think there's really anything else we need to do, so let's advance next week and see if we get any good updates on some of these guys, which some of them probably won't wait. They'll probably all wait till like the last week, but looks like Crispin's reached his top 5 schools and Workman as well, so those are a couple guys there. Looks like we're rated 79s across the board now, so maybe we didn't actually lose Thomas and stuff like that. If we didn't lose Thomas, I will absolutely be happy with that, but yeah, these two guys reaching our top 5s at schools is good. We're currently number 1 for Crispin, and in Workman, we're currently number 2 behind Central Michigan, so got some work to do, of course, but we're going to continue to work on those guys as much as possible, so let's go back to the recruiting thing and let's take a look at an update on all these guys. Looks like we're still locked out by Day and those guys as well. I don't know if anything's going to change and when we could actually get them, because we were very close to getting into the top 3 for Duke Feely, but now we can't put anything into him. Looks like McLean we're probably not going to end up winning because he's close to committing to, it looks like Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. Lockett was very close to committing to this team, which is unfortunate. Yet we can't put any hours into him, so I really want that coach prestige to go up, but I don't know if it will, unless we recruit somebody and then that helps change that coach prestige. Alright, so I think we're probably good still on that. We could, it looks like a lot of the guys that we just started throwing interest into, we actually are number 1 on all those guys that we just gave 25 hours to almost, except for Ball, the quarterback, who does have a lot of interest from one school. I think that's Nebraska. So that might be hard for us to get that quarterback that we want, but we're going to still continue to try. So let's go back and let's advance another week and see if we got any updates about people actually committing here. I don't think anybody's very close to committing, but I'm hoping that they will start to, and looks like we got one. We got a free safety by the name of Daniel Witherspoon from Detroit, Michigan. So he's a 3-star. Nice little pickup there. So that's the first commitment of the season, if I'm not mistaken. And that's the only one that committed this week, but that is hopefully the start of more of them to commit here. And yeah, I guess technically coach prestige will not change in the off season, so I might actually have to remove everybody of those guys with the deal breaker from our list, which is unfortunately. But in terms of other recruits, anyways, Willingham has reached his top 3. We're currently number 2. I think he's going to commit to that other school, unfortunately. Rochelle, we're still leading on, which is good. Same goes with Guy, Isaacs, and G. So I might have to withdraw from Willingham just because Willingham looks like he's very close to committing to, I think that's the friggin' Hens or whatever they're called. I don't even know what school that is, but it looks like he's going to commit to some other school, which means now we actually have hours available to us apparently. So somebody has already locked us out by committing to a different school or what? Maybe not. I don't even know. Let's remove, though, all these guys with the deal breaker issue because, yeah, there's unfortunately no way we're going to be able to get them. So we might as well remove them. And we'll see if there's anything else we could throw these hours into, or that 25 hours into. All right. Also, oh yeah, I guess Brian Vales also did commit here earlier this season. So we do actually have a couple commitments. But what do we still need drastically? Halfback for sure. Tight end we do still need as well. So we probably will look through our tight ends since we're 0 for 2 on tight ends. Is there any 3-star tight ends that do not have a commitment? Ooh, okay, looks like Justice Hakeem actually has his number 1. So let's go to Justice Hakeem. Spend some 25 hours on him as well. And that should hopefully help things a little bit. We didn't offer scholarships to these guys yet, but we obviously could if I removed hours. How is Ball looking? I don't know if we're going to be able to catch up to Nebraska, but I'll still keep 25 hours on him anyways. But it might be worth it to go for a different quarterback because of that. Anybody very close to committing? Looks like Whitehair's close. A couple guys are close to committing, but yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get Willingham, to be honest, at this rate. He looks like he's going to definitely commit to that other school. So, you know what? Let's remove Willingham. That way we actually have 25 more hours. We'll also maybe remove that quarterback already in Ball. Yeah, you know what? Let's remove Ball as well. So we'll go back here and try and find another quarterback instead. I just don't think we're going to win him, and it's kind of a waste of time to try and spend hours on him. So, I mean, we could go for Cam Thomas. We might as well go for Cam Thomas, but actually, yeah, we could probably still win Cam Thomas for sure for the quarterback option. And then there was that other guy as well. I don't remember what position. Might be outside linebacker. Yeah, it was outside linebacker, I think. Let's go through one of these guys as well. If there's someone we could actually compete for, which right now it might be a tight race, but oh, there's a guy that has this as first, Mixon. Let's go for Rashard Mixon and put 25 hours into these guys, and hopefully that will help things a little bit in terms of getting closer to actually having a guy land on our team. So that's all good, dealt with. 450 hours spent. We don't have a lot of recruiting stage left, but hopefully we get more commitments relatively soon, because or else next season we might not have a lot of new faces on this team. All right, looks like we got another commitment, which is good to see. It is Jason Scasia, who is the right tackle, 3-star from Moultrie, Georgia. So that's a nice little one. Scasia, I think it's pronounced as, should be a nice little right tackle fit for the team. So there's another commitment in this episode, which means everybody else, we're waiting until next week to commit in the last one. But at least we do got another pickup, so that's nice to see. Especially considering that's on the defensive side of things, I think. Maybe it's offensive. But Kofi Nagy has also reached his top 5 schools. We're currently still leading on him, so maybe we'll still be able to get ourselves that edge rusher that we need. So, all right, looks like we have more hours spent to us. 25 more hours, I think. Yep, 25 more hours because of that commitment, which means we could probably look into another player in an area of need. So if we go back to the prospect list, is there another player I should look for? Probably halfback, just because it's 1 of 6. We could look for more wide receivers, though, too, technically. Actually, let's go to any what they recommend, and then let's sort by interest. They're only recommending me 2-star recruits. Oh, no, there's a 3-star recruit. That is a defensive tackle. I don't think we need that as much. We already have a center, which is good. What else do we need most? There's a quarterback. We already have 1 of 4. Probably don't need another one. Cornerback is not an area of need, or is it 1 of 7? Maybe we should look for cornerback in that sense. But they don't even have us ranked whatsoever, those guys. But one of those 7 is pretty damn low. I just don't know if we're going to be able to get enough interest to actually land them in this last week, so... Let's see, what do we want to put these hours towards? There's another edge rusher, that's a 2-star. This is just recommended, so let's just go 3-star prospects. Is there anybody here? There's a 3-star wide receiver that has us as number 1 that we could probably land. You know what, since we may be losing a lot of wide receivers, let's go with Jamal Nestor as the last option here. And we will put 25 hours into him. I honestly don't even know if this is exactly what we need to be putting hours into, but I'm hoping that we get all these guys potentially to commit in this final week. So with that said, we're ready to advance to next week. Let's see who we get recruited to the team for the upcoming year. Not a lot of recruits so far, but this week should be the busiest, hypothetically. So in terms of people recruited for the team, we do get wide receiver Brock York from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So welcome aboard to Brock York. We also do get punter Emmanuel Incognito. So we do get Incognito, which is great, from Montevideo, New Jersey. That will be a nice little replacement for Jameson, I think. We also do get Paul Whitehair, the defensive tackle from Irwin, Pennsylvania. Another 3-star recruit, of course, like that. We also do get Jamal Rochelle, who is a right tackle from Philadelphia. So another defensive option, I think. Or is right tackles offensive or defensive? I feel like they might be offensive, but honestly don't know. Aside from that, we also do get Kenya Dugar from Columbia, South Carolina. He is a right guard, so nice little pickup there too. We also do get Randy Crispin from Miami, Florida, who is our Sam. I like that pickup. Yeah, see, we're getting a lot of commitments this week. Miles Adewagi from Philadelphia as well. He's an edge rusher, so nice little pickup for the edge rusher area that we needed. We also get Kofi Nagy, who's an edge rusher from Gainesville, Florida. Okay. We also get Sammy Treadwell from Vero Beach, Florida. That's actually pretty cool. I used to go to Vero Beach all the time during March break. I didn't even know that would actually be a city listed in this game, but I know Vero Beach quite well, so that's kind of sick. He's a right guard too, so nice little pickup in Treadwell, and that's it. So it looks like some people we unfortunately did not get, but we did get a good chunk of players in this offseason at least to hopefully help with the depth department. If we go back, let's take a look at this for a second here. So yeah, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 recruits that week. I think we only got maybe a total of 12 recruits all year. But yeah, Cam Thomas, unfortunately, did not commit here, but we are still leading on him. So maybe that carries into next season, I'm not too sure. And then same with Rashard Mixon. Dubois, unfortunately, has committed to Louisiana, to the Ragin' Cajuns. So there you go. All right, so there is the off-season recruiting stuff. National Signing Days, obviously just signing us players. We aren't going to do any positional changes, I don't think. I don't think it's necessary. And yeah, now it's not showing the wide receivers that we've lost. So yeah, unfortunately, our wide receiver crop has unfortunately lost Robert Thomas and all that. So JoJo Carter is now technically the best wide receiver on the team. After that, it's not as good as it has been in the past, but we do still at least have JoJo. But we definitely need a lot more things, it seems like, because this team is starting to drop off quite a bit in depth. All right, so yeah, we're not going to do any positional changes, so let's advance to next week. See what is next for us this offseason. Getting some more XP is always good. We're actually getting close to level 27 already. Still have 79s across the board, which is kind of surprising, but I feel like that still has to update, but I'm not too sure. All right, training results. This is going to be an important thing, especially with us losing a bunch of people, how players grew going into the next season. Hopefully we get a lot of growth because that could definitely help with things potentially. So starting off with our quarterbacks, Jennings is up to a 78. He has not gone up in overall, but he is getting faster, which is nice. Kennedy's up to a 68. He's getting better in a lot of areas. Halfback Duckett's up to a 74. Definitely need more halfbacks. Fullback McKillop's up to a 70. Wide receiver Carter's up to an 87. So at least Carter's looking fantastic right now. And he does have a 99 spectacular catch. So yeah, JoJo Carter's looking pretty damn good. and at least will help with the losses of the other wide receivers. But Emerson's up to a 78. That's also going to help a lot with the depth. Meanwhile, Kirkus is up to a 73, Dora's a 71, and Christmas is a 67. So, yeah, definitely not as strong as last year, because last year we had a lot of 80s, I think, in our wide receiver pool, but at least JoJo Carter should have a good last season here, because I think this is his last season coming up. Then we move over to tight end. Damiani's up to an 82, which is good. He should be pretty damn good this season as well. Left tackle, we have nobody. Left guard, we have nobody. Centers, we have Nwosu, who's up to an 80. That's not bad. Right guard, we have Durango, who's up to an 88. Damn. Cole Durango's looking fantastic. And we also have Coates up to an 87. So Coates went up a lot this season, and Durango went up by a little bit, but those two guys are looking really good. Grasu 73, Carlos a 70. Right tackle, we have Whiting as a 75, Stephen as a 70. Edge rushers, we have Jeff Kinder up to an 81. And then for the right side, we have Crumholes up to a 71, so he's getting better a little bit. We head to defensive tackle. Craig's up to an 83, same with Clements. Bargava's a 71, and Ogba's a 69. Sam's College is up to an 80. That's good. Mike's, we have Ellington as a 75. Steinbach as a 71. Will, we have O'Leary up to a 78. And Sabri up to a 73. Cornerback, Gardner's up to an 80. Boyman's a 78. Savage a 76. Free safety, Holmberg's up to an 89. Goddamn. Scroggins is a 79, and Ugo's a 70. Strong safety, we have nobody. Kickers, Lacouture's an 81. And punters, we have nobody listed because we just picked up a recruit like that. But that actually looks still pretty good on paper in terms of the amount of 80-plus overall players we have. But obviously, there's still work to do to make this team probably better, I would assume. But we should be pretty balanced, my guess. All right, so now that that is done in terms of the training, let's advance to next week. And soon enough, I think we'll be able to find out how good our prospects that we just picked up are. Or I should say our recruits. All right, so encourage transfers. We're not going to encourage any transfers, but I think we could finally take a look at those guys that we just picked up, if I'm not mistaken. No, we can't yet, I don't think. Actually, wait one sec. What position was it that I picked up a person in? I'm not going to encourage any transfers. Oh, yeah, here we go. Brock York was one definitely we picked up this year. So Brock York is a 66 with star dev traits, so that's a nice little pickup there. Obviously being a freshman and all. So we'll see how he ends up developing. But star potential is really good to see. And he could easily probably pass Christmas in the depth chart. Aside from that, who else did we pick up this offseason? Nwosu is a 79. He was there last season. No. Treadwell's a 67, but he only has a normal dev trait. So that's kind of unfortunate, but still decent overall. Same goes with Duggar, but he does have impact dev traits. So these two guys could potentially pass Carlos eventually on those positions. Right tackle, Scasia is a 64. He has a star dev trait, so I like that one. And Rochelle has an impact dev trait as a 66. Okay. Edge rushers, I think we actually did bring in an edge rusher, so we'll take a look at that in a second. But Paul Whitehair has impact dev trait. He is a 65. All right, I'll take that. Edge rushers, we do have Otto Augie, or whatever his name is, 66, and impact dev trait. And Nagy, who we brought in, is a 72, so he's actually a pretty damn good overall already. But he only has a normal dev trait, so he's going to probably be competing with Crumholes, it looks like. Sam's Crispin is a 69 with an impact dev trait. I'll take that. Vales is a 65, another impact dev trait. So at least we're getting some impact players, it seems like. Wills, we didn't bring anybody in. Cornerbacks, none of these guys were brought in. Free safety, Witherspoon's a 65 with a normal dev trait. Strong safeties, Dubois is a 64. So I guess we did end up getting Taylor Dubois as well. So it looks like a couple other guys have just joined the team. Kickers, Lacouture was already here. And Incognito as a punter is a 77. So he's a really good overall out of the gate, or normal dev traits. So that is the new recruits for the team. Should be exciting to see how they develop. Hopefully we could get some of them some playing time depending on how deep our roster is. But with that said, let's advance to next week. I think we're very close already to the preseason, if I'm not mistaken. And I think we're probably almost ready to set up for the season as well. So our ratings have changed. We are now an 80 overall team with 81 offense and 79 defense. So hypothetically, we should be even better than last year, but will our team fall apart again? Or are we going to have a big redemption year is the question. Like, I'm kind of surprised we're that good of an overall of a team still, even with losing Robert Thomas and all that. Like, if we didn't lose Robert Thomas and all that during that last season, we would be actually really good right now, probably. But I am still skeptical just based on how last season went. But we are at the preseason now, which is good. But let's go to our depth chart and see who is in the lineup and who wouldn't be. So quarterbacks, it's going to be Jennings and Kennedy. That makes sense. Halfbacks, it's going to be Duckett. We don't have anybody else, but McKillop will be our FB, our fullback. Wide receivers, looks like York's going to get the play as a rookie, which is good to see, but he's obviously way down on the depth chart. Obviously, JoJo Carter's the main man on that department. Tight end, looks like Rochelle will get some playing time. Actually, Rochelle playing as a tight end. I don't know if he will be because he's playing right tackle, so maybe not. But it looks like he should be in the lineup, maybe. Let's double check on that. Maybe he won't be. Tough to say. Maybe he'll be playing left side instead, but it looks like Duggar's going to be playing. Centers, looks like we don't even have a... Actually, we know Wosu is the center. I was going to say, where's the other center? But yeah, it looks like we have some okay depth, but obviously there's still work to be done. But I'm optimistic for the upcoming season. I'm optimistic for sure. Because it definitely looks still good. Looks like Nagy's going to be starting in his rookie year, potentially. As the main edge rusher on the right side. Which is kind of a little bit weak, but maybe not. But yeah, I think it should be an optimistically good season if we compare ourselves to the other teams in the conference, which we'll do that in a second here. But yeah, I'm going to keep the rest of that the same. I think I'm optimistic about the season now. But at the same time, I don't really know, just because last year we had a good rating, but we didn't play that good. So let's go to conference standings, see what we got here. So if we look at everybody in the MAC here, Buffalo is currently rated as 71 with 69 offense, 74 defense. So they're worse than us, but they're still pretty good. Then there's Toledo, 69 overall, 71 offense, 66 defense. Bowling Green's just 66s across the board. Ball State's a 64 with 66 offense, 61 defense. Western Michigan is actually really good too. 72 overall, 74 offense, 69 defense. So they're one of the better teams, them in Buffalo. North Illinois is a 69 overall with 71 offense, 66 defense. Eastern Michigan, 62 overall, 64 offense, 61 defense. That's kind of crazy that they're not that great considering they beat us a few years ago now at this point. Miami is a 72 overall with 71 offense and 74 defense. Ohio is probably one of the worst teams in the MAC. They're 56s across the board. Kent State, 61 overall, 59 offense and 64 defense. Central Michigan's also really bad, 57 overall, 59 offense, 56 defense. Then there's us, of course, which has an 80 overall rating with 81 offense, 79 defense. And then there's UMass with the 66 overall, 64 offense, 69 defense. So by far, we are the best team in terms of overall rating. So by that logic, we should be able to easily win the conference. But last year, we were like literally terrible despite having good ratings. So honestly, not too sure what to expect. Apparently, we're still a lower star school than Miami is. I don't know if that still has to update or not, but they're a 1.5-star school. We are currently apparently still a half-star. So even though we have good ratings, does that mean anything? I'm not too sure. So there is that. Aside from that, is there anything else we need to do? Technically, we could probably redshirt some people for next season, but I'm not too sure on who I would want to redshirt. Not everybody's eligible to be redshirted. We can't redshirt Kennedy anymore. Who is eligible to be redshirted? That might be a good option to redshirt. York is, but York is probably playing. Damiani, we never used a one on, which is interesting, but he's really good. So, yeah, I don't think there's really going to be anybody that I need to put red shirt on. Unless there's somebody down here, which I don't know if there is or not. I honestly might just not use the red shirts until we actually have to. But, yeah, this team looks good. This team looks good. But I'm still questionable about us being good. Because our coaches, I don't know if it's the reason why we're not doing that well. Like, where we could see our coaching staff here. Coach abilities. Was it in coach abilities? Maybe. Oh, yeah, here you go. Like, our offensive coordinator is a C- prestige. And then our defensive coordinator is a D+. So, I don't know if we had better coaching staffs, if that will help things. I'm not too sure. We do also have 22 points. We could put more into stuff like that. We can't even put any more still in the recruiter yet, which is annoying. And then for motivator and stuff like that, tactician. Let's see. Boost on the throw, run, and change of direction. That's interesting. I probably won't do any of these yet, but we only have 22 coins, so I think that's pretty much good. In terms of, what is this? That doesn't matter. Heisman watch doesn't matter. I don't think there's really anything else that we need to do. Yeah, I don't think so. Obviously, it's going to be important for us to recruit stuff, because what are we going to actually need? We're not going to look at the actual recruiting boards, the prospects really at all right now, but we need a lot of things apparently this season, so we're obviously going to be targeting probably most of those areas throughout the season, quarterback especially, halfback, because I think quarterback we might lose Jennings potentially at the end of the season, but halfback, wide receiver, tight end, tackle, guard, center, edge rushers again, defensive tackles. We need a lot of things. So I'm really hoping we can get some good recruits throughout the season again and the off season, but obviously the priority is finding a way to win the season. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Akron Zips Dynasty Mode. So in next episode, we'll get started with another season. We'll see if this team can get off to a better start this year, and hopefully we don't let the last season bother us. Hopefully also we can find ways to get good starts on some good recruits, so that way we can make sure we have a good looking roster till next season, because I think we're going to potentially lose more good players this offseason due to transfer and that type of thing. So let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time.